Tonight on SUTV News, SHIP gets you real world ready. Find out how our Career Center gets SHIP seniors ready for life after graduation.
And a university just over the Virginia border makes college an option for students with disabilities. We'll take you there.
All that and more coming up right now. Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Louis DeSanto.
And I'm Marina Barnett.
As the seniors close their chapter on their college career, prepare to enter the real world, Amanda Trevel has some tips on how to make a smooth transition after graduation.
Senior Brandy Keppel, a biology major, is starting to feel the pressures of graduation approaching.
Really nervous about graduating and actually having to face going out into the real world. Because you're here in Shippensburg in sort of a little bubble.
Instead of worrying, there are many sources on campus you can go to start the process of looking for a job.
We have access to the Career and Community Engagement Center. You have access to your faculty, to your advisors. You have access to alumni, people who have come before you and graduated and have successful jobs. Start looking into that. Start making yourself a plan.
The Career Center did a survey of last year's grads and found out that 80% who used their service got employed in their field, while only 50% who didn't use their service got jobs.
I would definitely consider going to the Career Center. I actually didn't even know where it was.
Brandy's advisor also offered tips to her to prepare.
Certainly having a resume ready to go, getting a copy of her transcripts when she graduates, and then networking a little bit, going to meetings, getting on the internet. There's all sorts of job sites and things that you can go to.
Remember to make a plan and deadlines for yourself, and you are on the right path to a career. For SUTV News, I'm Amanda Trevel.
For more information on the Career, Community, and Engagement Center, go to sutvnews.com, keyword Career Engagement. The Office of Undeclared Students has changed its name. It is now the Department of Exploratory Students. SHIP is not the first university to make this change. Other schools in the PASHE system also call undeclared students exploratory students. The change is intended to implement a positive connotation for students who are exploring what they want to do after graduation.
Undeclared, I think, focused on what they weren't doing. They're not declaring, they don't have a major. Exploratory really focuses on what they are doing. So I think overall it just gives a better impression and helps our students maybe to feel better about themselves.
While there are no specific changes to the academic program, the department wants to continue implementing positive changes to help the students. The department is planning a marketing campaign to alert students and faculty of the change. 103-year-old Ethel Parr has been living without the railing outside of her house on Richard Avenue for years. So a new campus club fixed the damages done to her property. Julia Wiegand has the story.
On top of juggling football and classes, TJ Smink was determined to rebuild the railing.
So I decided to put a word out there so we could go and fix it for her, and it's pretty much our first project.
While stumbling down Richard Avenue, drunk students destroyed the railing where Ethel has lived all her life.
We kind of thought it was a little ridiculous that a 102-year-old lady did not have a walking railing, so we thought we'd take the initiative and do that for her as just a nice gesture to kind of give back to the community.
The responsible raiders set out to break Richard Avenue's reckless reputation.
They're self-guided. I really don't have a whole lot to do with what the students are doing. They figured out that there was an issue within their own community. I think the students have an equal voice now because of them and because of their forward thinking and their creativity. So I think that they're an excellent group of young people who are setting the standard for what Shippensburg University looks like.
The organization is determined to show the township that students can right the wrongs of the past. For SUTV News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
The Student Senate now recognizes Responsible Raiders as an official club, so the organization will have a budget to carry out the work.
Yesterday was Veterans Day, but at SHIP, the whole week was dedicated to veterans. The university held events in honor of past and present veterans. Tuesday, Colonel Ricardo Gonzalez spoke to members of the Shippensburg University ROTC program on the importance of leadership and service. Veterans also wrote prayers and wishes on balloons and released them. The week of events comes to a close with a dinner this evening sponsored by Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union to hear past experiences and to donate to the Yellow Ribbon Fund. Donations to the Yellow Ribbon Fund help assist injured service members and their family. The Ethnic Studies program is hosting a roundtable discussion on being Black in America next week. Darby Sells has the story.
4 diverse faculty members will be leading a roundtable discussion on the meaning of being Black in America. Each professor brings different expertise to help guide the discussion about integrating diversity into everyday life.
Education, opportunities, housing, etc. So I think they're going to help us, the students and all the faculty, to look at the bigger picture.
Psychology professor Dr. Campbell will look at how racism only appears to be less of an issue.
My point is it's even more dangerous because since it's harder to see, it's harder to protect yourself against, and it's harder to regulate.
Dr. Jennifer's mission on the panel is to make students aware.
When they go out and they become professionals, Blackness will matter less and less to them because they will be aware of the potential of treating people differently.
Panelists aim to point out stereotypes remaining in American culture.
Just being Black in America is often shorthand for being a criminal. I mean, even the FBI director, James Comey, has said that.
The professor's ultimate goal? To make students agents of change.
As educators, we're obligated to make sure that students are aware of and understand and hopefully motivate them to continue the discussion and come up with solutions as well.
Well, we're in 2015 and we are still being judged by the color of our skin. And we want students to join us to the point where we can all be judged by the content of our character.
A challenge to remind students to use Dr. King's teachings to understand history so as not to keep repeating it. For SUTV News, I'm Darby Sells.
The Being Black in America roundtable discussion is Monday in the Orndorff Theater at 6:30. SHIP students are learning all quilts are much more than just average textiles. Ian Fitzgerald has more.
I've brought quite a large donation from one of my clients who had been a collector of early 20th century, both clothing and ephemera.
Newbold Richardson is all about quilts and all about sharing them.
I brought close to 400 fashion plates, advertisements, and magazines documenting the history of fashion from about 1900 to 1930.
She's working with a museum studies class demonstrating how to preserve quilts beyond the linen closet.
Contextualize quilts as part of the great decorative arts. They are as important in historic interiors as a chair, a dish, or any other piece of the decorative arts.
As students will find out, quilts are much more to human history than just warm blankets. For SUTV News, I'm Ian Fitzgerald.
Students can learn more about quilts and fashion plates at the Davis House. When we come back, the Vagina Monologues are back.
We'll give you a sneak peek. Plus, SHIP's raising money for kids battling cancer. We'll tell you how you can contribute. Stay tuned.
For people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, college life hasn't always been an option. But as Holly Hara finds, a campus just down the highway is showing there's room for these students and in places just like SHIP.
Her attitude is bright, her disposition is sunny. She tries so hard at everything she does, and she's an inspiration, I think.
Stephanie Vostel is a full-time student at George Mason University, taking classes in human communication. But speaking in front of people can be scary.
I yet to dare, but
once you got up there, you felt a little bit better.
Yeah.
Finally, it was Stephanie's turn to shine.
Do you know the mayor y the daughter 1935 the polio poet?
She spoke about working in the mailroom, a job she's done through the Mason Life program. Aside from finding work, Mason Life students benefit from the social aspects of college, like dating.
I don't remember exactly when we met, but we were just friends, and then we kind of just asked a question, and we just went.
Stephanie and her boyfriend Pete often gather with other students at their favorite campus spot, the cafeteria.
This unique program opens many doors to students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It even offers an opportunity for students to become more self-sufficient through independent living.
Like Stephanie's off-campus apartment.
It gave me more independent to be on my own at a very independent.
She even gave me a special tour. Eager to show me her room,
I did in my room.
Complete with a couch, cozy bed, and a desk for her schoolwork. Stephanie has all the necessities for living on her own. Stephanie sets an example for those with disabilities and those without.
There's no doubt we have students who are more patient, who are more welcoming, who think outside of themselves because of their relationships that they've formed with our Mason Life students.
Programs like Mason Life are making strides in changing the perception of students like Stephanie, not as disabled, but diverse. Holly Harrer, SUTV News.
The Mason Life programs and others like it are growing on college campuses. For more information about this initiative, visit sutvnews.com. Find a good read or a great vintage shirt for cheap and help the community at the same time. Every year, Our Lady of the Visitation Church holds a book sale and yard sale open to Shippensburg residents and its students. This year, there's going to be more than just the typical yard sale items.
We have craft items, we have some food items, we'll have yard sale items. There's clothing, there's shoes, there's new items that people have donated.
Proceeds will go to the ministry projects and Shippensburg University programs. The sale is Saturday, November 14th at the Our Lady of Visitation Church in Shippensburg. Every year, Shippensburg students join the nation's largest student-run fundraiser, the Four Diamonds Fund. Minithon helps raise money to help children with cancer.
Pays for children battling pediatric cancer, and it covers everything insurance covers. So it pays for chemotherapy treatments, gas to get to the Penn State Hershey, pays for surgeries, everything insurance to cover, Four Diamonds covers. So we celebrate our night of. It's a year-round effort of fundraising with the Four Diamonds families that come. So the Four Diamonds families come, they share their stories, we get to interact with them, and it's like a celebration of like our efforts helping the children.
On is this Friday at 2 in the Shipwreck.
Every year, the Women's Center brings the Vagina Monologues to Shippensburg University. Joe Rodriguez has the story.
Call it a Raider Bowl. We're worried about vaginas!
The Vagina Monologues is a staple of the Women's Center's itinerary.
The point of it is really to kind of bring awareness about women's health, sexual assault, and kind of empowering women in various different ways through the show.
As an actress in the play, Brielle Dorfman says her experience was one of a kind.
I loved sitting up on stage and listening to the other monologues because some of the stuff just really made you think a lot of things that even women don't think about every day.
Chelsea Kasaznak's experience as an actor in the play was so positive, she took on the role of co-director.
I think that it's something that most people should experience because it's just such an empowering thing to do. There's nothing else like it.
And Chelsea's dedicated to ensuring the performance has an impact on the audience.
I think that the play has a way of uniting us in a way. You know, like the audience can relate to it so much because it's a universal experience in a way, like some of the monologues, and I would just really want people to take away some awareness.
The Women's Center has sponsored the Vagina Monologues for over 10 years, and it is still a long-standing tradition.
It has stayed for so long because people are still enjoying the show and still really getting a lot out of what they're seeing when it comes to taking care of themselves, taking care of their community, having a feminist mindset. Like, all of those things are really important, and they're still very relevant to our campus today.
Play is in development for shows to start next year. For SUTV News, I'm Joe Rodriguez.
The Women's Center is excited to start shows next year with a new theme of Orange is the New Black. When you hear the word forensics, you likely don't think speeches, but at SHIP this weekend, that's exactly what it means. The College Forensic Association is holding its annual holiday tournament. Students from schools across the East Coast compete in speech-related events.
And they come together to compete in debate as well as speaking activities that include everything from extemporaneous and impromptu speaking and prepared speeches, as well as some oral interpretation events, things like doing dramatic interpretations, poetry, prose reading, etc.
The competitors address current and controversial topics. The tournament is this Friday and Saturday at Dolphins Humanities Center and is open to the general public. From refugee crisis breaking records in Greece
to breathtaking view of Tropical Storm Kate, here's Joe Rodriguez with World News.
The number of refugees and migrants arriving in Europe by sea continues to break records. Nearly 800,000 have crossed the Mediterranean. Most of them are landing in Greece. Deaths at sea are also at record levels with this year, with more than 3,400 people reported missing or dead. One of the key destinations for migrants is Lesbos, Greece. In other news, 5 suspects accused of carrying out the massacre of over 140 students at Kenya's Garissa University in April are set to go on trial in Nairobi. The suspects were linked to Al-Shabaab when the terrorist group took responsibility for the attack. Polluted air is spreading to parts of China, and authorities are warning that it could hang around for days. Heavy smog has hovered over the northeastern part of China since the weekend. Pollution levels rose to 56 times the recommended levels set by the World Health Organization. Officials say the haze is caused by people burning coal to keep warm as temperatures drop. And lastly, we're getting a look at space for the tropical storm Kate. A weather satellite captured the development and movement of Kate over the last 3 days. You can see the swirling storm shape building on the lower right. Kate formed near central Bahamas on Monday, but Kate is now moving away from the Bahamas and is not expected to be a threat to the U.S. That's all I have for you this week for World News. I'm Joe Rodriguez.
The slate hits the shelves next Tuesday, but we'll take an early look.
That's right. The hot debate on hot coffee plus the GOP debate are all in this week's slate preview.
This week, check out our last print issue of the semester. News brings coverage from the Veterans Day ceremony and the Senate Forum on tuition changes. Our opinion section weighs in on the controversial Starbucks Red Cup debate. Ship Life catches karaoke night benefiting lupus, and Entertainment discusses a Star Wars fan who lost his battle with cancer. Grab a copy of the Slate this Tuesday and keep up all week on theslateonline.com. I'm Tyler Law.
When we come back, find out what 1935 adventure film Act 5 is performing.
And find out what temperatures to expect for the last Red Raider football game.
Well, after a hot last week, it seems temperatures are getting a little cooler lately.
Yes, they have. So let's take a look at the 5-day and see what we can expect next week.
Milder temperatures of the week are giving way to colder weather. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of 42 degrees. Now tomorrow, don't get blown away. Wind gusts could be up to 30 miles per hour. Expect a high of only 50 degrees with cloudy skies. Now let's take a look at our 5-day. Saturday, bundle up for the football game with temperatures in the upper 40s. It warms up a bit on Sunday with a high of 60 degrees. To start off your week, expect temperatures in the lower 60s with sunny skies on Monday and Tuesday and some isolated thunderstorms on Wednesday. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy Red Raider football.
Looking to stay warm this weekend and also have fun? Shippensburg student acting group Act 5 Productions is performing the 39 Steps this weekend at the Memorial Auditorium on campus. Marissa Campalong reports more about this event.
The performers and crew have worked hard to make this play come to life. Ecker, a senior here, has directed this play entirely on his own. The play's concept calls for the entirety of the 1935 adventure film, The 39 Steps, to be performed with a cast of only 4.
It's just a quick show. There's only 4 characters in the entire show, and just the way it's done, it's very funny and it's very fast-paced, and I just fell in love with it immediately.
One actor plays the hero, Richard Haney. An actress plays the 3 women with whom he has romantic entanglements.
The only character who stays the same throughout the show, he's a 37-year-old Englishman. He is kind of boring, but gets thrown into this weird world of spies.
Show times are 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday as well as 2 p.m. Sunday. Marissa Campalong, SUTV News.
Ticket prices are $3 for SU students with an ID and $5 for general admission. Spread the word and invite everyone you know to come see this hilarious show. A vocal quartet is coming to the Lohr Center next week. The Tenors, a Canadian group known for singing operatic pop, is on tour. They're celebrating the release of their new album, Under One Sky. The Tenors go on at 7:30 and you can buy tickets at the Lohr Center. That's all we have for entertainment tonight, but we'll see you next week.
When we come back, get the latest on Senior Day in the football preview.
And find out how the cross-country team ran at regionals.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to SUTV Sports. I'm Jake Gillespie. The Red Raiders host Mercyhurst Saturday to finish off the 2015 regular season. Pre-game ceremonies will honor the team's seniors, 3 of whom broke school records. SUTV will have full coverage of Senior Day Saturday starting at 12:40. Tune into Comcast Channel 21 or Campus Channel 82. The Raiders men's cross-country team took first place and the women finished third in last weekend's regional race. 2015 Atlantic Region Coach of the Year Steve Spence had only admiration for his runners this week.
To get through and advance the NCAA meet, that was the goal, which we met with a third place finish, and is very pleased there. And our men's team just ran outstanding. We had 6 or actually 7 just outstanding races.
Both the men and women traveled to Missouri Southern State in Joplin for the NCAA Division II National Championships in 2 weeks. The Raiders wrestling team took on LIU Post Wednesday afternoon. Haley Luke has the highlights.
Freshman Dustin Stefanino gets his first collegiate pin at 125 pounds, giving the Raiders a 6-0 lead. LIU Post dominated the next 6 matches, and the Raiders didn't get a boost until Chip's Hunter Fank won his match in a 6-0 decision to make the score Pioneers 22, Raiders 9. The next match was one to remember when Evan Ramos of Shippensburg dominated his opponent and won in a technical fall, bringing the score to LIU Post 22, Shippensburg 14. Heavyweight Derek Ernest drops his match, and the Raiders fall to the Pioneers 25-14. For SUTV Sports, I'm Haley Luke.
The Raiders' next match is next Saturday, November 21st at Lock Haven. That is all we have for tonight. For SUTV Sports, I'm Jake Gillespie. Let's send it back to the desk.
Well, that's it for SUTV News. I'm Louis DeSanto.
And I'm Marina Barnett. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, SUTVnews.com.
We'll see you next time.